so expensive, we're staying at room 13. Usually airy and usually buried, and that's just how my life goes. And I don't ever try to dress to impress. Fuck you, preppy asshole. On the 14th floor in a bathroom door don't lie. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the party's mixed, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on a deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 204 of Fired Up Sports. Check us out at firedupsports.com. I'm Mike Gilletto. Joining me as always, Mark Ramos. What's going on, man?
Well, same old here.
Yes.
Just, tired.
Yes. Not much going on. We're one day closer to Eagles' first game against the Cowboys on, what day is that, September 4th?
Yes.
So we are getting there, but that's kind of all we're waiting for. Waiting for Phillies, but obviously postseason baseball is kind of around the corner, although I think things are a little gloomy right now after the recent Zach Wheeler news and his medical and his health, obviously first and foremost, but it's definitely, it doesn't seem like, we were talking blood clots and, it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen. Like he's going to come back and pitch at all the rest of the season, and he's obviously such a workhorse, such an important part of this team. I'm kind of in the dumps right now with the Phillies. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. No, it's easy to be feeling like that, especially because it looked like for a second there things were really going to come together for this stretch drive. We were going to have everybody, and then this news comes down with Zach, and just it sucks, man. It's devastating.
Yeah.
To see him go through that, to know that that's something so severe, and it's not like a baseball injury. You know what I mean? It's not like a sports injury. This is like a health thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Like you said, I know that they're kind of like, it depends on, like that. I don't want to even speculate on it because I'm not,
Right.
I'm
not qualified for that. Yes.
Yeah. I don't have a medical degree whatsoever.
Yeah. Right.
But I know that treatments vary depending on a number of things. So, but it seems like on like a precautionary measure. The Phillies haven't put any timeline on it.
No.
Which I think is an indication that everybody's kind of just feeling their way through this right now. And and then on the flip side, and not even on the flip side, but on the broader scale, this is so much larger than baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You just want them to be healthy, and not have something more severe pop up.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. It's obviously health is first and foremost, but at the end of the day, we're not qualified and we don't have a medical health podcast. We have a fully sports podcast. So obviously we have to talk about how it affects the Phillies.
Yeah.
And
maybe we're not even qualified to talk about that.
We might not be. Some would argue that we are not. Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But you just look at the rotation, and obviously the last couple of days you've gotten a lot of good stuff out of Ranger and Sanchez. But Nola's back, and he obviously got lit up his first outing back. So can you trust Wheeler? Taijuan Walker, while he's been better than previous years, Taijuan Walker, it's still Taijuan Walker. Luzardo's leaky at times. I don't we can't trust this Phillies rotation as much as we could maybe 4, 5, 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and um, here we were a couple weeks ago and talking. We've talked a ton of Phillies on recent episodes, and we've talked about how that being one of their greatest strengths. You know what I mean? And now that's being tested with losing Wheeler, who's really the anchor of that whole rotation. And I mean, Sanchez has been excellent. He was good tonight. He was good again tonight. Um, but
Say that Wheeler can't go because, like, when you talk blood clots, I at this point in time, I'm just going to assume he's not going to be available.
right,
Um, who pitches game 1 of the playoffs? Is it Sanchez? Do you have the ball to Sanchez?
I think so. I
Yeah.
think like you have to at this point. I mean, he had 12 strikeouts tonight. He was excellent. Um, and I think based on the year he's had and everything else, I mean, like you have to turn to him in like game 1 of a series. But at the same time, we don't really know what to expect
Yeah.
when it comes to that from Chris, even though he's been really really good. Um, I think too it was like when Nola came back and he kind of got knocked around and you know it was like one of those things where it was like he comes back and then you know he wasn't afforded this like I feel like we didn't really afford Nola this like time to like well there that could have been possible. He hasn't pitched at this level for a while,
Mhm.
so it was possible that he could get knocked around. But it kind of felt like for anybody that's kind of usually a detractor of his, it kind of felt like an opportunity to pile on there.
Well, it also happened in pure Aaron Nola fashion, whereas like he looked good for the first couple innings and then just falls apart. It all it took was one inning for him to just get lit up. It all blew up.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
typical Aaron Nola fashion.
Yeah. It usually goes that way
Yes.
with him, even when he's going really good.
Yes.
Uh, but
It's one inning. It's one inning and it all just goes to hell.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, all of a sudden, like it becomes a lot less certain, with the rotation and stuff for all the reasons you mentioned. I mean, someone in there would have to, provided they lose Wheeler for the rest of the year. Um, someone in that rotation would really have to be otherworldly, in order for them to
Mhm.
um, to make a push. Provided also that Christopher Sanchez continues to be as good as he's been this year. But I don't know. Like crazy things happen in October in the postseason. Do we have
Sure.
like a
I,
do we have a
and this is,
Taiwan Walker legacy run in us?
I mean, I don't know. I'll like whatever you're on right now. I'll say that.
Yeah,
But
yeah. That's just fatigue I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yes. Um, but yeah, like I don't know. I guess it's the pessimist in me because obviously I'm a pessimist by nature. But like, I just Sanchez, I think is the only guy right now. Obviously, excluding Wheeler, but like Sanchez is the only guy. It's the guy in that rotation that I trust right now.
Yeah,
Like because as good as Suarez can look, the last handful of starts before his last one, not so great. And then Taiwan Walker's giving me a million reasons not to trust him, right? Like, like I mean, is there an unsung hero that's not even on the team? Do they call it like I know as bad as Andrew Painter's been with the question marks that they have with their rotation now? Do you just like see if it could work? Like some guys maybe just aren't met for AAA, and you bring them up and they're good for whatever reason. Sometimes
yeah,
you're better in Major League Baseball than you are in AAA. I don't know.
yeah,
Could that happen? Sure. I don't think they're going to give him a shot because I think they would have liked to see a little bit more from him down there before they bring him up. But is it a Griff McGarry's looked pretty decent down there? Do they call him up and maybe he's another arm for them, for a postseason run? But as it stands right now, I don't have a whole lot of faith. Like at the top of their game, could they get it done? This rotation, yes, we've seen it. I just don't know that I can trust it.
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, like, there's all this like collateral that comes now with like I think before, provided like when
Holy
everyone was
shit!
healthy. What was it?
Sorry, I don't know if you're watching this game.
No, I don't have it on right now. Watch
So
the beginning of it.
So Harper's hit a not really nice hit single to left field, and then the next pitch, first pitch, JT Realmuto absolutely unloads on one and hits a home run. Just destroyed the ball.
There you go.
I haven't hit him. I haven't seen him hit a ball that hard in a long time.
Uh,
Sorry, go ahead.
they're up. Are they up 8-6 now?
They're 6-4.
Oh, 6-4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, like about like the rotation and stuff. It's like all this like fallout now comes with the Wheeler stuff, where you know you mentioned Suarez, you mentioned Ranger, and it's like when everyone was healthy, everyone, I think it kind of felt like a foregone conclusion that you'd move them to the pen for the
Mhm.
postseason. And maybe that's the best way to get the most out of them. Now they don't have that option. Like they have
No.
to have Suarez is like available as like a starter, or at least he's probably one of their three best starters
I was
at
gonna
this
say he
point.
might go game 2 at this point.
Yeah,
Like,
he might have to take the ball in game two.
yeah,
And while he can be good at times, we can see him like when he's off, and the fatigue factor and things like that. I don't worry about him so much in those like he seems to be made for postseason baseball in the sense that like he's very like even keeled all the time, and uh
ice in his veins. Yes.
yeah, he's kind of like he's always like very very level, and you can't be like erratic and wild,
Yeah, he's
and
definitely made for the big moments for sure.
yeah, so I think if someone could do it, yeah, I think Ranger could potentially do it. Um, but we've just seen him so up and down at times this year,
Yeah.
that I don't know that I could count on it. You know what I mean? So,
And
but
they
yeah, I mean,
they
there was a
don't
ton of
even have the bullpen to really like, hey, maybe if throw Ranger out there for 3-4 innings and get what you need out of them and go to a bullpen. Like,
mhm.
yeah, and obviously the Duran signing or trade has been great and he's been awesome for them. But like, Kirkering's kind of hit him. You've seen what happened tonight, obviously, and um, I don't know that you could trust him every time he's out there. Like the bullpen also has some questions where like if you
Right,
have to go to them early, I don't know if that's the recipe for success either.
right. Yeah, you're only looking at like a handful of arms, right?
Yeah.
Like coming out of the bullpen for um, the postseason, and then provided, like you said, someone gets to you early, gets to your starter early, and you got to go to the pen early. I mean, that could be a runaway. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
and we haven't seen enough of Robertson yet to really know if we can trust him.
No, no, and
Um,
and Robertson's older now. You know what
sure,
I
yeah.
mean? Like it's just like he has a lot of like he's played in a lot of big moments. He's
Hmm.
been on a lot of good teams and deep into postseasons and stuff like that. And while that's a benefit to him, it's also like he's just an older guy now. I don't know, like if you can kind of count on him to be, you know, as good as he had been in the past.
Sure, yeah,
So, um, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of bad fallout with the Wheeler thing. It's a bummer, like that that happened to this team. That was nothing anybody could do about that.
no, no, and I know a lot of people like kind of speculated, maybe they'll give him like a phantom injury and shut him down for a little bit because it seems like he's been losing a little bit of stuff. So maybe you kind of rest him the last couple weeks of the season, kind of so to speak. And nobody expected this, obviously. Like this is,
Right.
he could have went with like a tweaked back or
Yeah.
a fatigued arm. Like there's other ways to go about it.
Yeah, they didn't have to go find a blood clot.
Yeah, right.
You
Yes.
know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
But no, it just it's sad. It's
Yeah.
just sad,
Sure.
and
Yep.
um, I feel bad for him, and um, you know, it puts the Phillies in a bind. But there's a lot of guys on this team making a lot of money, so it's going to be you
Next
know,
guy up.
yeah, next guy up. I mean, it's what can you do? It's you got a bad, they got a bad hand dealt to them, but I'm not going to want to hear that in October.
No.
Not how I'm sure many people won't. You know, uh, so that's the way it is. That's the business.
Yep. Um. So Otto Kemp gets sent down. I think it was in the moves bringing up. Was that the Nola thing, or was it
I think
somebody else?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he got sent down. Not a huge surprise. Really wasn't getting a lot of at bats, and when he wasn't particularly great.
Hmm.
But obviously the sexy name is Justin Crawford. I'm surprised. I know that people throw out like the August 15th date as potentially being one that came and went. Maybe September 1st. Like, do you still expect him to see him at some point down the stretch, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I would say yes. Like, consider like when are the September call ups? Like, when do
September
they
1st, I believe.
on the first?
Yeah, I believe it's the first.
Okay,
And I
so
think you only get one spot now. I think it used to be two.
yeah,
I think it's just one extra spot, unless it used to be one announced two. I forget the exact rule.
yeah, yeah. No, I would. I mean, I would definitely consider that. Um, Calling him up and seeing if he could kind of add another dimension to that outfield, and like why like
Okay,
if
you
you can't
get. Sorry, you get two extra play. The roster
two.
increases from 26 to 28. Yes.
Okay, all right. I for some reason before I thought it was more than that. I thought he
Maybe it went down
three.
from 3 to 2 or 4 to 2.
Yeah,
It's possible, but yeah.
I could be wrong though. I don't remember. But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, why not? Like we've heard a lot about him. It sounds like he's been good down there, right? I think um, he's in AAA, right?
Hmm.
He's down in Lehigh Valley.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, like if you can't bring guys up uh, in a run like that, I mean, you know, I don't know when the best time is.
Yep.
Like it's one thing when you're not competitive and you're calling guys up to get a look at them, but if he's down there playing well and you're pushing for a playoff spot, you're not calling him up to help him. You're not calling him up with the intention that he's going to help you getting into the postseason. The Phillies are already probably ticketed for the postseason. It's just you're hoping he can kind of like add another element here. You're calling him up with the idea that he's actually going to produce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Down there in AAA, he's played 100 games, 333 average, 4 home runs, 40 RBIs,
330.
333, and also 39 stolen bases too.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I would love to see that. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yep.
Love to see that up here. And he's one of these guys too, like that the Phillies have been very high on. And you know, yeah, I have no reservation about that. I would definitely use one of those call ups on him.
Yep. And then maybe the other one on Andrew Painter or Griffin McGarry. There's, you got to
Yeah.
go pitching. I feel like
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
other call up.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be Painter because obviously the struggles, but I just like kind of what his ceiling is and hype is. I wonder if they kind of force it and just see what he has up here.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, nothing would surprise me at this point. I know that, you know, um, yeah, like I don't see any real. I can't imagine it would hurt him. Like you said, like if anything, you might be surprised at how well he throws.
Yeah.
Unless the Phillies are really like hell bent on really kind of like having this like what it sounds like they have like kind of like the clamps on him down there. He's very like, um, you know, they have a very watchful eye on what he's throwing, when he's throwing it, how long he's
Yeah.
throwing. Like it's they're proud, they're taking quite a like a pretty I don't know how you would say it, but they're like really lording over him here. Like,
Yeah.
in terms of that doesn't sound like a player that they're confident could contribute at
Right.
the pro level, but
True. At least not
or
yet.
at the highest level.
Yep.
But you know, uh, that was before the Wheeler news. So
True.
things change.
Yep. Yeah, they do. All right. There's really not a whole lot other than that Phillies wise that we could talk about. So let's kind of move on to the Eagles. Played a preseason game against Cleveland. What on Saturday.
Yep.
There's really not a whole lot, in my opinion, to take away from preseason football. I know we've talked about it in the past, but I'm like, what you look at like expectations and things like that for the team, and I think they're still. I mean, they're still really. I still think they're a contending team. Like we talked about it last week. Like who are the other teams in the NFC? And I think that, maybe Detroit will be there, and I know everybody loves a team like Green Bay. Like I still think it kind of runs through the Eagles in the NFC.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, there's still a pretty good and deep team. The only thing is now, and it sounds like in camp here, they've kind of dealt with some injuries have kind of come along here, and
Mm-hmm.
guys do seem nicked up a little bit, even for training camp and preseason. Um, we had the Landon Dickerson scare. Uh, AJ Brown and Devontae Smith haven't. The Eagles have been very conservative about how they've practice time for both of those guys. They're dealing with ailments. Um, uh, I think Mailata's out. Mailata has a concussion or something like that. He hasn't really practiced. Um, so guys are getting nicked up, and of
Yeah, I
course I think
wonder. I wonder how much of it is just precautionary. Like
yeah,
Sirianni in general is a guy that doesn't really like to play his players in the preseason anyway. Like we really haven't seen much of the starters, throughout Sirianni's tenure. So like if you're battling something, let's not even take the risk. Just sit out until the season starts.
yeah.
Basically.
There's no reason to rush it.
Yeah,
The one that really sucks is the Andrew Makuba injury
he's
that
played pretty
came down
well.
today.
Yeah,
Yeah, I watched the preseason game Saturday, and of course he had the pick six, and then he had the fumble recovery. But because he was just kind of like, like you said, you kind of you take it for what it's worth. But it was fun to see him, like he kind of had a nose for the ball. He was kind of like he would just pop up everywhere. On the pick, he kind of just it looked like I don't know if it was Gabriel and whoever the wide receiver was for Cleveland, but they look completely not on the same page, and the ball's coming out, and I mean Makubu just kind of like he ran between two receivers to catch the ball to like pick the pass off. So it was just a heads up play, and then the fumble recovery was kind of just like that was a complete um, like a box standoff on the transfer, and he just he jumped on the loose ball, but um, that was fun to see that. Like, and he's also like there's a great story with Makuba too, like with his I think his family's from Congo or something like that, and like football is very very new to him, and here he is in the NFL, and played at University of Texas, and so it's unfortunate that it kind of played out that way. So we'll keep an eye on it. It sounds like it was a hamstring in
yeah,
camp, so it's another thing to keep an eye on. But like you said, there's real no reason to rush it, and it sounded like with Makuba going out, Sidney Brown stepped in that spot.
yeah.
So
Which I still feel like we need to see more from Sidney Brown. Like I've always like heard the name Sidney Brown and he had potential and all that, but we just haven't seen it. He hasn't put it together yet.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. And then uh, it sounded like Adoree Jackson he's still getting first team reps, and he's had a rough camp. To this
yeah,
point, he hasn't looked very good in the games either.
yeah,
But yeah, we're 16 days away, I think, from opening night, and you know, um, so you take it for what it's worth. But that'll change if we're talking about a loss to Dallas on
yes,
on opening
yeah,
night, spoil the
yeah,
banner night. The
yeah.
people will be very upset about that.
Speaking of Cleveland, did you see Joe Flacco's? They're starting him game one.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's a little odd, isn't it?
Yeah, especially because they got like six quarterbacks.
Right. Yeah, and like in my honest opinion, I don't think like Cleveland's not like a contending team in my opinion.
Right.
Whereas like I would think you would want to see what you have in those young guys.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
it's like I don't even think Shador Sanders is going to be all that great, but you have him and Gabriel. Like
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
like you just drafted both of them in the draft. Like figure out what you have in one of those guys. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. I was surprised to see that when that news got announced because I thought for sure Gabriel or someone like that they would have given the keys to
Mhm.
start. Um, but because like I mean Gabriel was taken relatively high, wasn't he? Like I mean
Third rounder, I think.
third rounder, yeah.
I
So
think so. Because
uh,
Shador was what fourth,
yeah, fourth or fifth.
and then I think they took Gabriel before Shador.
Yeah, I think they did,
Yeah.
and you know I don't know too. Like I was just kind of like I know teams don't always operate that way, but I was just kind of like, you know what? Why don't you just like place your door? Like if
Yeah.
anything, you know what I mean. You'll
Right.
get some eyes on the product that
Right. Sure.
you
People will
know
pay
what I
attention
mean.
to the Cleveland Browns more than they will if Joe Flacco's a quarterback.
Yeah,
Joe
people.
Flacco. Joe Flacco once played against. I just saw this tweet. Played against an Eagles team led by Donovan McNabb, Brian Dawkins, and Brian Westbrook.
Been
And
around
he's still in the league. In that game, Cooper DeJean was 5 years old. So that tells
wow.
you anything how long Joe Flacco has been in the NFL.
He's been around a long time.
He has
I
been.
remember. I remember watching highlights of him when he was at Delaware,
Okay.
and and seeing like I remember it was like a feature like NBC did, or like back then they were Comcast Sportsnet, I think, and they did like a feature on Joe Flacco, and he was at Delaware because he was like slinging it at Delaware, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yep. Yep.
so he's he's been around a long time.
Yes. Yes, he has. So back to the Eagles. They obviously made the trade for what's his name? John Mechie. Mechie, is that how we're saying this name? John Mechie.
Mechie, yeah,
Mechie the third from Houston. Seemed like a guy who has kind of, I don't know, talent, skill, whatever you want to call it, some speed. Dealt with, I think he battled cancer, beat it.
hmm
Right around his rookie season.
yeah,
Um, I mean, I feel like it's just kind of a depth piece. Like I don't expect I think he's taking reps with the first and second team, which is a little interesting. So they're trying to see kind of where they can place him, but it's just kind of a depth piece. Although like their wide receiver room, I feel like is pretty crowded already.
yeah,
It's just
yeah,
kind of interesting. It's an interesting move to make.
yeah, because it's already a strength. Like the wide receiver core is pretty good
Hmm.
as is. Jahan Dotson's been very good in that third, that third wide receiver role. Even like I was actually really kind of impressed the last two preseason games. I really liked what I had seen from Darius Cooper. He's an undrafted guy, um, and he's gotten some time. Him and McKee kind of hooked up in the first game, and they looked good together. Like so. Then you had of course him and Mechie and Devontae Smith. They're both Alabama guys.
Yep.
And it looks like they're pretty good friends too. So, and I was wondering, I had seen some people wondering if like maybe there was like another shoe to drop with that kind of thing. Like maybe if Mechie comes in and he can play, maybe they can, you know, deal with like Jahan Dotson for like help at corner or something like that. I saw people kind of speculating about that. Um, but I don't know that I want to like necessarily like start picking away at that depth, at receiver. I mean, provide it depends always on return always matters, but um
Yeah, I think Denzel Ward's name's kind of been out there
yeah,
to trade
that
for.
that's crazy to me. Like
Yeah.
but if anybody could do it, I mean Howie's proven that uh he can certainly make the uh the splash move even with and even not give up a whole lot to do
Yeah.
it, you
And
know.
then Trey Hendrickson's name's still out there, obviously with the Bengals. Now, obviously not a cornerback;
Yeah.
he's an edge guy, quarterback, pass rusher. But a guy who I think led the league in sacks last year. Um, I'd be curious to kind of where he goes because like it's a really bizarre situation. He obviously wants a new contract. You're gonna have to pay him, give up assets, but like he's also 30 years old. Like those guy. I mean, we kind of saw it with Hassan Reddick. Like once you hit the wall, you hit the wall. Like
Yeah,
and Reddick wasn't even as old as Hendrickson is.
right.
Um. So yeah, I don't know. I'd be curious to see what that trade looks like, what that deal looks like, and what the production of Henderson looks like once he figures this out.
Yeah, and I feel like, I feel like when it comes to like edge guys, sometimes like, um, I feel like sometimes they go for like teams really desperate for help, like um, for help there, they tend to like those guys end up getting like a pretty decent haul, like in deals, even when they're older. I don't know, like I, I don't I don't know if like there's any moves that back that up. I just feel like that's how it is. Uh, like I'm trying to think of one where like the return was really good, but I just feel in general that's how it happens. But um, yeah, and I mean someone will pay for that production, like even for the player he was last year. Um, so I definitely think that doesn't make a lot of sense though. Like with the Denzel Ward thing, I've seen that too, and I was just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't understand that from Cleveland's perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, what exactly are like you trying to like do? Like, you have like Garrett already, and he's a really special, unique talent. And then Ward's very good from everything that I've known and seen about him. And um, so like, are you trying like what are you trying to build there? And like, how far are you willing to kick the can down the road here? Uh,
Right.
but the Browns will do the Cleveland Brown thing. So
So I just asked ChatGPT what the biggest trades involving edge rushers are in NFL in the last handful of years. Now, if you want, I could go down the list. There's like 5 or 6 of them. I
okay,
go down the list and we can see if there's anybody that compares to a Trey Hendrickson. In 2018, Khalil Mack was traded to the Bears. Now I think Khalil Mack might have been a little younger.
he was.
Um, it doesn't have how old he was or contract status and all that, but the Bears traded Khalil Mack in a second round pick to the Raiders. I'm sorry. The Raiders traded Khalil Mack in a second round pick to the Bears in exchange for uh, of 2 first round picks, a third, and a sixth. So I don't think they're getting that for Henderson.
No.
Von Miller was traded to the Rams in 2021 mid-season for a second and a third round pick. In 2022, Bradley Chubb was traded to the Dolphins for a first round pick, Chase Edmonds, and a fourth round pick. It seems like a decent little haul.
Mm-hmm.
That can maybe be comparable, I think.
Yeah.
2019, Frank Clark was traded to the Chiefs. Frank Clark and a third round pick to the Chiefs for a first and a second. Chandler Jones was traded to the Cardinals in 2016 in exchange for Jonathan Cooper and a second round pick.
Okay. Yeah. See, there's plenty of evidence there.
Yeah.
I was on that. I was on top of that one.
Chase Young to the Niners in 2023 for a third round pick, but I think Chase Young was kind of not the same guy. I feel like
Yeah.
his stock was starting to drop a little bit at that point.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think the Chase Young thing was more like hype.
Sure,
At
yeah.
that time, like when he was in Washington, there was a lot of hype.
And I think when he got moved, he also dealt with like injuries a couple years like leading up to that point, and
Yeah.
it wasn't the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I somewhere in there, I could see a reasonable return for,
Like a first round pick.
yeah, um, at least going by that. I mean, yeah, I would definitely be looking at that, and some of those players as comparables for my return if I were Cincinnati. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what, other than like leading the league in sacks and stuff. I don't really know a whole lot. I know he would be Hendrickson here would be like just that would just be scary. Like
Yeah,
to have a
yeah,
line like that, like just would just be. uh, that would be a rich getting richer type of thing for the
Sure.
Eagles
Yep.
if they could swing something like that. Um,
And Howie we trust.
yeah, yeah. And I always love too, like if for a team like in the Eagles position too, like I understand like it's like offense is a very very like everything's about offense today, like with the way we kind of like the passing game and all that, and um, in the NFL. But I like that's kind of how I would look at it. Or if I had a contention window, I would just keep adding pieces to to that defense, like just
Sure.
to
Yeah.
keep like you know,
Yeah. I mean, you
it,
can never have too many good players. Like it's
yeah,
that simple. Especially because you don't know when a guy's gonna go down or get hurt. Like
right.
you always got to have bodies.
Yeah, and especially guys that can kind of put pressure on the quarterback, the opposing
Yep.
quarterback. I think is um, you know being able to do that and just kind of come at teams in waves.
Yeah.
Just exhaust another team's offensive line. You know what I mean? With
Right.
just all the pressure you're creating. So um, I do love that, and I would think about that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. For sure. Um. Yeah. Honestly, that's kind of all I have for Eagles talk. There's really
yeah.
not a lot going on right now.
No,
So.
no, we're just kind of waiting for the season to start.
Yep.
Um,
Yep. I was gonna do kind of like a season like game by game breakdown predictions, but like I feel like we should save that next week for when Dom's on.
yeah, yeah, we can do that.
I guess okay. Instead of going game by game, I guess what you could say kind of. I guess we get predictions on like. Actually, here's what I'll do. I'll pull up the divisions, and I guess go division by division. Who you think is going to win each division?
Okay,
We'll kind of do predictions that way.
all right.
All right, so let's start with because we're talking about the Eagles. Let's talk about the NFC East. To me, I don't even think it's close. I know people are kind of glazing the Commander. Is that what the kids say nowadays? Glazing.
They do.
That's what the kids say nowadays, right? All
That
right, so
that's
I
that
use
makes
that
me
correctly.
uncomfortable. I don't like saying that.
I just want to make sure I used it correctly.
Yeah, I think
So, as the kids say, I think the kids are glazing the Commanders. But I'm not. I just we need. I still we need to see more from Jaden Daniels. I think people are kind of, you know, counting their chickens before they hatch or eggs before they hatch. What's the saying? I'm all over the place right now.
yeah,
Anyway, I think I'm with you with the lack of sleep thing
yeah,
or
yeah,
the fatigue setting in. Um, I'm going the Eagles. That's all I have
yeah.
to say. I'm going Eagles.
I know what you meant there.
Yes.
But no, I agree with the Commanders. I think they're going to be a real threat. Um, over these next couple of seasons,
Yeah.
especially if Jaden continues to like grow and evolve.
Sure. Yep.
Um, but I feel like they're close, but they're not quite there yet. I think the Eagles are actually like right in the middle of a championship caliber run. So no, I definitely agree with that. Dallas is they're going to be like around, I guess, but they're the third best team in this division, I think, this year. And the Giants are still in the throes of a rebuild. I don't think that we're going to see. Um,
Although, sorry to cut you off.
no, you're
Although
good.
this Jackson Dart looks like a player.
Does he? I haven't really watched a whole
He
lot.
looks like a player.
Oh, that sucks. I hate that.
Right, exactly. Yes. He looks really good so far.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know,
No.
I know, I know, I know. And I just talked about people, giving Jane Daniels love for one season. I've only seen like a handful of plays from Jackson Dart. So
Yeah.
it could just be a bunch of fluff and nothingness. But like from what I've seen, he looks like a player.
Yeah. 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 I mean, like they'd have to hit on what I to waste another like to have like prime like Odell
Yep.
when they did, and now they have Malik Neighbors,
Hmm.
and he's coming off like a really really great rookie campaign. They peppered him with passes last year. Even if they get like a slightly like if Russell Wilson comes in and plays like half the season, and they get even like a little bit of like consistency from that position, I think it'll go a long way for Neighbors because he's a problem. Like,
Yeah.
and but if like they like end up hitting on Dart, and then you have Dart and Neighbors as like that could be really fun if that's something that can if Dart ends up being the real deal.
Yeah.
But
All right. NFC West. So you obviously have the Cardinals, Rams, Niners, Seahawks.
yeah, this one's kind of tough. I think the Rams um are probably going to win the
I
NFC
agree.
North. I feel.
I think the Niners' time's kind of done. I think they've come and gone. I think they've fallen apart. I'm not. I actually would take the Seahawks over the Niners. I think the way this division will go is Rams, Seahawks, Niners, Cardinals.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's interesting with the Niners because like we were just talking about injuries in camp for the Eagles, and I know like the Niners have. I don't know that anybody's been really healthy. Like
Yeah.
I think like Brandon Ayuk's had troubles staying healthy. Like there's like really like not a lot of, and then of course like even with McCaffrey, as great as he is,
Mm-hmm.
he has a long track record of injury history
Yep.
there. So yeah, I don't know. Like I kind of agree with that. I think like they're kind of coming like that window's kind of it's closing if it's not already closed completely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so no, I think the Rams are definitely, especially if Matt Stafford's healthy. I think they get like a slight, boost there. Even with him at this, he proved last year in the postseason. In that game against the Eagles, he can still step up and bring it.
Yep.
When in a big moment. So no, I think the Rams are the top team in the NFC West for sure.
I agree. NFC North: Bears, Lions, Packers, Vikings.
This
I
could
think
be
the Lions. I think the Lions are the best team in the division.
They are. I think this is kind of like I think the NFC North's fun though. Like with
There's some fun there for
yeah,
sure. I agree.
like I kind of been waiting for the Bears to kind of catch on because I kind of like the young youth movement, especially like with Caleb Williams and they have like a different looking offense this year. I think uh isn't the offensive coordinator wasn't he with the Vikings? He's there, isn't he? There now in Chicago.
I don't know. Who was their head coaches? Wasn't that their head coach?
Yeah, they have. I feel like he was with Minnesota and on
I'm looking it up. Ben Johnson was in Detroit and now coaches
that's
in
what it was. He was in
Chicago.
Detroit. Yeah,
That's their head coach.
right.
Dennis Allen is their defensive coordinator, who was the Saints coach in a few years ago,
Hmm.
and then Declan Doyle is their offensive coordinator. He was the tight end coach in Denver previously. So yeah, I think the guy you're thinking of is Ben Johnson. He was
Ben
the
Johnson.
he was
Yeah,
the offensive
that's
coordinator in
who it
Detroit.
was.
Yep.
Because I actually read recently that Jared Goff like swore by Ben Johnson, like
Mhm.
and all the things he was able to do for him as a coach, and um, obviously, Goff is not the same type of quarterback as Caleb Williams, but if he can kind of level up Caleb in some way,
Sure.
I
Yeah.
think that could be fun. I don't think they'll challenge the Lions for the top spot, but
Listen, I don't even know if they're better than the Packers or Vikings. Like I think the Bears fourth in the division.
yeah, yeah, they still might be. They still might
Yeah.
be because the Packers are pretty good still. Um, the Vikings, like we're gonna finally see JJ McCarthy this year. Um, yeah, they very well could finish, but they could very well finish at the bottom of the division.
Yeah.
But I feel like if it snaps together for the Bears, it'll come together. Like they'll be like a surprise team. So I'm buying stock on Chicago for that. So we'll see
Yeah.
what happens.
All right, that moves us to the NFC South: Falcons, Panthers, Saints, Bucks, and I think this is one of the most boring divisions in football.
Yeah,
Like
South stinks.
yeah, I mean the Buccaneers I think are the best team in the division, but
Yeah,
I just don't care about anybody in this division.
yeah, Yeah, I don't know. Eh, like we were, like I was just saying about the Bears. Like I think like Atlanta's like been one of those teams too, where like I guess we'll see with Penix and how that goes this year. Bijan Robinson is excellent talent, and
Yep.
but it hasn't like manifested itself like in like them winning. You
No.
know what I mean?
No,
Like
it has not.
so, and it's like always it's crazy because like they signed when they signed Cousins and then they drafted Penix. I don't think they ever thought that Penix would be playing almost like a year later.
Yeah.
You know what I
It was
mean?
it was a
Otherwise,
crazy
they would have never signed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the contract that was wild, but
Yeah.
yeah, no, I don't think the Panthers are any good or the Saints. I mean, so um, it's probably the Buccaneers division to lose, and they're not even that great of a team
No.
to begin with. So
Yeah, I agree. All right, over to the AFC. Let's start with the AFC East: Bills, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets. Um, it's the Bills, right? I mean, at least
yeah,
for me, it is. It's the Bills.
yeah, yeah. The Dolphins would be there. I think like if there was less uncertainty about like just like Tua playing just
Tua,
scares the
yeah,
hell out of me at this
yeah,
point.
yep,
Like and Tyreek's another year older too, Tyreek Hill, and I don't know, like they're another team, kind of like we were saying about like the Niners and stuff. Like it kind of feels like to me, at least for me, like the Dolphins are kind of they have to like start to reconsider there. Like I think Mike McDaniel's a smart guy, and I think
mm,
he's an intelligent coach, but um, I think it might be time to kind of like rework that group a little bit
yeah,
because um, you know, as long as Josh Allen's in Buffalo, they're not going anywhere.
yeah. I actually think the Patriots will be better than the Dolphins this year. I think the Bills will win the division. Patriots second in the division.
Okay. Are you all in on
Drake May's, I think,
Drake?
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. AFC West: Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Chargers. As long as Pat Mahomes is in the division, it's hard to go against them. Although a lot of people are giving Bo Nix some love
hmm
with the Broncos, but I think I'm still going Chiefs.
Yeah. The Chiefs are probably, you know, I haven't watched it, but they're doing that ESPN documentary, or they did that ESPN documentary. It's called The Kingdom or something like that.
Okay.
And I heard it was pretty good. I haven't watched it, but um, it kind of sounded like Mahomes is really sour about getting that whooping in the Super
Getting
Bowl last year.
absolutely destroyed. Yes.
Yeah, so we might be seeing like a revenge tour type of Mahomes this year, uh,
Heck,
based
good
on
luck.
getting embarrassed.
Who's he throwing to? His only like receiving threat is too worried about what album Taylor Swift's coming out with next. Like
Well,
he's got nobody to throw to.
no, yeah, and I mean
Well,
like
where are these solid? But like,
Hollywood Brown will be back this
yeah,
year.
yeah. I
Um,
don't know.
no, I agree. I don't, but yeah, and you know what? Worthy is solid, and I think Isaiah Pacheco will be healthy this year. I think they lost him at some point last year, right? He ended up getting hurt.
Yeah,
Um, but Worthy's like interesting because he's a talented kid, but he's like more of like a gadget type of
yeah,
receiver. Like I feel like you have to use him in like kind of like specific packages and stuff to like really like get like the best out of him. You know.
yeah.
Um,
But which also like as great as Mahomes is, isn't really going towards his strength. Like he got such an arm. Just send somebody up the field and have him chuck it up. Like they just don't have that guy.
yeah, yeah. Like having somebody like a real like vertical threat would go a
Yeah,
long way for them. I think. But yeah, I think they're going to be good. I think the Broncos are decent.
yeah,
Um,
definitely.
but
Raiders, I still think are gonna stink, but
yeah, yeah,
and the Chargers, like I know it's kind of the running joke among non-Chargers fans is like I'm so sick and tired of hearing about Justin Herbert. Like I couldn't care less. Like I've heard nothing but hype since he came into the league, and he's done absolutely nothing in the league.
Yeah.
So I'm done with Justin Herbert. So
It's amazing he still gets so much
yeah,
fanfare, like, and love, like,
every
because,
list he's like top 6, 8, top 6 to 8 in
yeah,
quarterbacks. Like, what has he done?
I kind of feel like it's almost like people want to, like, they want to convince us. Like,
Yeah,
it's like they know that the critics around Herbert are very loud. And I feel like it's like, no, you don't understand. This guy's really good. Like, it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
nobody
yeah.
cares. Like, they're just like, nah, man. Like, he hasn't won anything. He hasn't. It's not like he's had a moment. You know what I mean? Like,
Nothing. And
so
any playoff game he's played, and he just comes up short. And I
yeah.
don't even know if he's played in that many playoff games.
No,
Like,
I don't think
he
he
just
has.
doesn't get there. He's played in what, 2 maybe?
Yeah, I don't think he has. He's another one. He doesn't have anybody to throw to either. Like,
He had who's the guy that they had in Keenan Allen? He had Keenan Allen for a while.
yeah. Well, I think Keenan Allen's going back there.
Is he?
Yeah, he's playing there this year. He's going to play there this year.
Yeah.
So, because he had that brief stint with the Bears, and then I think he went back this summer.
He's played in 2 playoff games in his career. One in 2022, one in 2024.
That's not going to cut it.
Nope.
Not going to cut it.
Through the first one in 2022, threw for 273 yards, 1 touchdown. I don't see a score here. Else I would have said that. And then the second one in 2024, he threw for 242 yards, 1 touchdown, and 4 interceptions.
Damn. I don't even
So
remember that. I feel like I would have remembered that. 4
yeah,
receptions.
4 interceptions, 2024, which I guess what was last year.
Yeah. No, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, I don't remember that either, to be honest. That's funny. Okay, so I have his career playoff games. That would have been against Houston. They played Houston in the playoffs last year.
I don't know.
Yeah, Houston. They lost 32-12.
Oh,
1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. So there you have it.
yeah. I was busy watching the
Yes,
Eagles on their run. So
yes, exactly. All right, let's move over to the AFC North: Ravens, Bengals, Browns, Steelers. I think it's kind of, in my opinion, like I know people are giving Steelers a little bit of love, but I still think it's like a 2-person race for the division. I think it's Bengals, Ravens.
yeah, yeah. I think the Ravens are kind of gonna. I still think they're gonna run. Like, they're gonna go away with it. The NFC North, or the AFC North rather. It's always tough. You know what I mean? Like, the games are always real tight. But I um I think Baltimore's the best team in that division. Pittsburgh kind of feels like I feel like that has, like, the only thing that won't keep that thing from going completely off the rails is Tomlin.
Yeah,
Like, with it's just like a weird mix. Like, I,
yeah, it
I
is.
don't like all that waiting around for Rogers and Metcalf getting dealt there. I'm not really sure what it's going to look like. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah, for
so
sure. And
uh,
then like you talk about like the Bengals, and obviously they have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, but like, and I guess their strategy right now, they're still playing like in the preseason much more than those type of players usually play in the
mhm,
preseason.
yeah,
Um, but it still looks like Joe Burrow's kind of running for his life behind that line, and their defense kind of stinks. And the one good player they do have on defense, they're probably going to trade because they don't want to sign him. So
yeah. Did you watch last year? Did you watch the in-season Hard Knocks?
I did not.
It was on the AFC North, and
Okay.
it did look like um, Burrow was, at least to me, it felt like he was very frustrated with the amount of, like, he felt a lot of it was unacceptable, like playing behind that line,
Mm,
and justifiably so. but he's still like it's a year later and he's still playing behind a line that's similar to that. Like I don't know how much Cincinnati's done to rectify that.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, it's kind of hard to go against the pick because you see what Jamar Chase has kind of turned into, and he's obviously an incredible player. But you look back at that draft, and was it the right pick at the time? Because everybody was thinking like, yeah, they both LSU guys, and then he needs somebody to throw to and all that. But like, I think Panay Sewell was on the board. Like, you could have got that guy. Like, that
Yeah.
was the guy that they probably should have got to bolster up that line, since with Joe Burrow's not running for his life.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in retrospect, absolutely. Like that definitely looks like something they probably should have done. And it's, you know, to have like, it's one thing too. Like, it doesn't matter. Like we see all the time. Like, there's a lot of they get a lot of credit. Not that they don't deserve it. Like quarterbacks get a lot of credit, but um, even like the really great ones and a play and I think everyone agrees Joe Burrow's objectively great. Um, they can it can look really bad and really poor if they don't have an adequate offensive line in front of them. You know,
Yeah,
doing the blocking and doing the dirty work. Um, that goes for anybody. You know what I mean? Like average quarterbacks look outright bad behind poor
sure.
offensive lines. You know,
Yep.
you can't do anything with a running game that way. Like it's a really like essential part of controlling the line of scrimmage is such a still no matter how much the game changes or not, it's still a significant part of like I think building a competitive group like that's going to be good year in year out. So it's a shame that he's stuck in a position like that because that'll you know. And I'm trying to think like I don't remember the offensive line being all that like when they went to the Super Bowl. That offensive line wasn't that great. Like yeah, I don't
No.
remember it being that great. It was probably good, but it wasn't like
Right.
you know what I mean. I don't remember it being like I don't remember anybody like lamenting Cincinnati for this great offensive line they had
Yeah.
during that game or during that run. So
Yeah, that is true. All right, AFC South to wrap it up. A division that year in year out is just couldn't care less.
yeah,
It just all seems like always a shit division. Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Titans. Like elite, like Titans. I guess you could watch little Cam Ward.
yeah,
I don't know what he's gonna be. Obviously, I think he's got a great mentality, and the things has said in like his press conferences, I really like and resonate with.
yeah,
So I'm rooting for Cam Ward, but like at the end of the day, like who knows what he is? The Titans are always kind of a dysfunctional franchise. Like, to go with the Jaguars also like I'm not really high on. The Texans, I mean, CJ Stroud had kind of a bad second year. Does he bounce back? They still have some talent. Like if I had to go anybody, I think I lean Houston.
yeah. I think so, and I think I'm a big believer in CJ Stroud. I know he had a bad year last year, but I definitely can see him bouncing back this year. And yeah, I mean, like they're kind of unchallenged in in the South, you know.
Yeah, who is? I mean, you got Danny Dimes starting games in Indianapolis. Like,
Yeah, because it came out. I was it today or yesterday. I read like somebody said I don't know. I guess maybe the coach. I don't remember who it was, but someone was quoted saying in Indianapolis they were like, "Oh, like Anthony Richardson not being named the starter doesn't mean we're like closing the door on him or anything like that." But it's like, how often does a guy get benched like it ends up sitting like that, and then they don't find a way to move on, whether it's in the draft
right,
and
especially because like that was their guy that they got in the first round of the draft. He was supposed to be their quote unquote franchise guy,
exactly,
and
yeah,
now you're
yeah,
just moving on from him like that.
yeah, yeah. So, and I mean, like, I don't even like I don't blame them for trying something different. But they haven't had a quarterback in a long, long time. And the
Well, I mean, I
Colts.
guess you're going since Andrew Luck kind of retired on him.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's kind of been a revolving door of like veteran guys.
Yeah.
Jacoby Brissett got some time there
Yep.
in Indy. So, and the Jaguars, like, yeah, like the Jags, I don't really know what to make of them. I mean, I am going to have an eye on the Travis Hunter thing. I want to see how that kind of plays
Yeah.
out. But
True.
other than that, I mean,
Do they
and
have
like you
him
said,
playing on both sides of the ball? I think that was the original plan, but are they still doing that?
I don't think they are. I think he's
No.
getting. I think they just want him. I think he's just playing offense.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like he's just playing offense now.
Hmm.
Um, but I,
Okay.
why I don't know why not.
Yeah, I mean, when they drafted him, they said we want Travis Hunter to be Travis Hunter. To me, that sounds like you're
Yeah,
gonna have
playing
him
both
play
sides
both
of the
sides
ball.
of the ball.
Right.
I'm gonna look at their depth chart right now.
I want to say, yeah, I want to say that he
He's
got.
wide receiver. Okay, he's wide receiver, starting wide receiver on their depth chart. He's listed at. He's listed as their second string cornerback, so maybe he might get a snap here, snap there, maybe.
Okay, yeah,
But he's listed as their second string cornerback, as well as first string wide receiver.
yeah. He hasn't really played like he's been. He's missed some preseason
Yeah,
games, but
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I thought they were just going to use him on offense, but I guess not. Um,
Probably predominantly offense, I would think.
yeah, but I mean, already did like if you're already like even like dealing with it's incredible like to think that someone could even do that today.
Yeah,
You know, um,
it's impressive if he could do it.
yeah, it is. Especially if you could do it like well. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
sure. Yep.
Like, that would be really cool. So I'll definitely be like keeping an eye on that. And I'm a big fan too, like you said, of Cam Ward. I like all the things I've read and seen about him. I just think that Tennessee's such a mess that
Yeah,
like it's going to be hard to be very good there.
yeah,
Um, but we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
yeah. Absolutely. Are you got anything else before we get out of here?
I don't know.
All right. So next week, hopefully, Dom will jump on with us. We'll give like a week by week breakdown of the Eagle schedule predictions. And then maybe we could talk a little more Phillies as their season's kind of winding down there. And then just right around the corner, we got hockey and basketball season. So
Yep.
we'll be able to talk about those soon. Dude, today outside it almost felt like fall weather. Like it was the little
It
chill
was
in
so
the air.
nice.
It was so
Yeah,
nice. It was
it
great.
was really nice.
So we're almost there, and we're gonna get out of here. We'll see everybody next Tuesday. See you then.